Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. Today I wanted to focus on an area just for a pretty brief moment. Not going to spend too much time on this topic today, but I just felt like it was something that needs to be said, just more so in supporting those who are coming from different walks of life that are truly supporting their own purpose when it comes to getting the message out to the masses. Just more trying to be on a united front in terms of getting people to become more aware of self. Um, the one, the ones in particular I want to focus on, I would say, would be the ones I want to focus on in particular would be the ones that choose to take more of the casual slang approach. Now, the reason why I say this is because I actually saw a YouTube video earlier today. It was with a tarot reader. She made a statement. Basically, it looks like there's certain individuals that are attacking these particular people. I consider it like going low because in a sense you are targeting individuals who are finding ways that work best for them to get the message out to the masses in the best way possible. And you're simply attacking them because they're using verbiage that is not aligned with what you're comfortable using in your own day-to-day possibly. So to be more clear about what I mean by that, so there's obviously some of us like myself, you could tell they're very well educated, that have worked in various spaces, and in my case being more so corporate. So when it comes to the type of lingo that we use, it may be different from someone who might still be in high school, or who might be just, might have chosen not to complete high school as an example, and may use more of the hip lingo. They might use certain words that most people who are well educated may, try to steer away from. So that's why I consider it going low, because you're attacking these very individuals that may not have the knowing of what type of language to use, where more people can be drawn to it, more people can understand what is being conveyed. I consider it going low, and I honestly feel that those particular individuals that are doing so, aka the keyboard warriors, if you will, I would encourage that they don't be the one caught doing it, because chances are, as some of the young kids will say now, you just might get ate. And that's just really, being straight up. Again, I don't really have too much to say on the topic because obviously I'm not one that really falls into this particular category. Because obviously listening to my videos, I'm sure you guys can see, oh, she doesn't really use much of the hip language. No, it's not really something that I would rather incorporate into my videos, just because for majority of my existence, majority of my adult years, I was in a space where we were not really allowed to utilize that. So with that being said, I do still have something to say on it. I still feel compelled to speak on it, because those individuals, you don't know if it's a case where that's just simply all that they know. And who are we to point fingers and judge, tease, and taunt them about it when they're just trying to do something that really speaks to their heart, which is to get the word out in terms of why, we need to be more aware and more alert in terms of what's being given to us on a daily basis in terms of media and things like that. Just being more aware of self, to put it plainly. So I say all that to say to those very individuals that are doing it, take into consideration that these people that are using more of the hip lingo, more of the cool talk, if you will, take into consideration that these very individuals, the fact that they can even get on camera to get their message out, that takes heart, that takes strength. And who are you to critique? Because are you doing any of that? Think about that. Before you sit there and point the finger and try to taunt someone because of how they convey their message to their group in terms of their masses, think about, in your own way, why am I spending so much energy doing that when I could be spending so much energy minding the business that pays me, right? Take that into consideration too. Think about, in what way can you leave your mark on this world, other than being a keyboard warrior or someone who's, taunting these individuals just because you really have nothing else to do. in your everyday existence. Really, the reason why you're doing it, because it screams that you're just miserable. The fact that you cannot find anything else to, jump into or to focus on, however way you want to flip it or use it. You take time to try to, belittle other individuals just because of that case alone. What does that say about you as an individual? Think about that. The funny part about all of this too is because the very individuals that you're doing that to, the ones that are using more of the hip lingo, that you feel is just like, so, I guess some people would say so ghetto or so unprofessional. The very individuals that you're critiquing and taunting about that, just know that they're out there living their best lives. They're out there doing what they love and not giving a damn about what you have to say. They may come across it and see it, just as I did, being one that don't utilize that lingo, but I see it and I can appreciate it when it's being done. But just know that they're out there doing what they feel their heart desires are, and they're moving forward just like that. And while you're sitting at home or sitting somewhere in some type of cube, just being miserable, you're letting time fly by just doing nonsense like that, rather than really just putting your time to good use and focus on something that you could truly be passionate about as well. What does that say about you in terms of your character? In other words, grow the fuck up. No one cares about your feelings about how someone conveys their message, because at the end of the day, it's not your mouth that's, getting the message out. It's that individual. And if it is hitting the target, the intended target, as I mentioned in my previous videos, that's all that truly matters. All this other bullshit that you guys are doing, no one gives a fuck. And that's my quick little bit on today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I just felt the need to say something about it. Again, granted, obviously you guys can tell by my videos, like, oh, she's not one that really uses the hip language. I'm from a different generation, and I'm definitely very much old school, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. But, needless to say, I honestly feel that when I saw that video earlier from that one tarot reader where she pointed out how there's those keyboard warriors that are coming out picking on people who choose to use the cool lingo or what most people consider to be slang, I felt like even on my side, I needed to say something about it. To those individuals who choose to take that approach when it comes to getting the message out to the masses, just know I respect you, I love you, and I truly appreciate you. Keep doing you, okay? Now, even for someone like myself, obviously being a woman of color, granted, I speak very proper. I've been told that I speak like I'm writing a paper. I get that quite a lot, which again, I could explain a lot in terms of why I love doing speeches and I love writing in my own personal existence, my personal day-to-day. But I've also heard terms where people say, oh, you sound like a white girl. I've gotten that too from my own people. No offense taken, but it was just basically pointing out the fact that my approach is very much on that side of the spectrum. I get it, and it's known. But I still have to say that even being that type of person, I even know the importance of turning it on and turning it off, AKA code switch if it's needed. But you have to do what works best for you. For me, personally, it's just simply speaking the way I do has worked well for me, because I tend to connect with a lot of people. Like the responses I get back from a lot of you guys, it's a mixture of people, from those from different walks of life, those who are white collar, especially blue collar, those who are of my own culture, being African American, those who are actually Caucasian American. I've actually gotten some responses from those who follow who are Asian descent as well, which is pretty eye-opening. So I appreciate that as well. I haven't really checked into any others. I mean, the only way I know this information, because sometimes when I get those emails, a lot of people begin to open up about their backgrounds. They might send me images of themselves, and I'm able to see like, oh, okay, there you are, or they may go into describing their background in the actual emails or the DMs that they send me. So that's how I learned a little bit about each and every one of you that I encounter, that I come across daily. I say all this to say, do what works best for you. And as long as the group that is listening to your messages and they're understanding what you're conveying, that's all that matters. All the other noise from the keyboard warriors is pointless, because at the end of the day, what it boils down to, they're going to get tired after a while. And then what? They'll continue to be miserable while you're out there living your best life. So as I said a moment ago, just do you. Send you guys with love and light. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, I am still open for consultations, so you can still contact me at those other various areas, being my Instagram, Snapchat, emails. Again, if you guys are having issues with putting in your appointments, it looks like it's going completely fine. I've gotten a few this morning. But if you have issues with doing so, just contact me in reference to those other outlets I just mentioned a moment ago. And I can always schedule it on my end manually, and we could just simply take it from there. So until next time, talk to you guys soon. Be blessed.